Hey everyone, today I want to talk about ethics in the metaverse, since I guess this will be one of the hot topics in 2023. I'm thinking about it some longer time and identified some points which need to be addressed if we are talking about ethics here. The first point will be privacy and security. Virtual worlds can potentially collect and store large amounts of personal data, so it will be important to establish clear guidelines for how this data is collected, used, and also protected, of course. Because imagine you have, for example, a virtual store. You could, in theory, track all visitors to see where they are walking on, to analyze how you can place the products better in a more effective way. You can analyze the walking paths basically in the store and see, for example, all the users walk in the back of the store but no one is in the front. Then you place all the good items basically, which ranking the best basically, because most people watch those for a long time basically. You can place all those in the back. Like this you can incredibly optimize your store and stuff like that. But it's not only about those informations. You can also track what a users watched, like for example in terms of products. How long did the user watch the product, for example, like in a metaverse where you have multiple stores, and then you can adjust the ads according to that you get shown monitors when you watched for a new monitor or something like that. So it will really get incredible which huge amount of data can get collected in those metaverse experiences basically. So here we definitely need some kind of guidelines or restrictions, maybe also something like that, by the law or something like that. So here we clearly need to talk about how something like that can work basically. The second point is inclusion and diversity. Virtual worlds should strive to be inclusive and welcoming to all users, regardless of their background or identity. This may involve establishing guidelines for acceptable behavior and language, and taking steps to prevent harassment and discrimination. How can you do that? I guess over voice chat it will be a bit hard to filter out bad words and stuff like that. Over chat, something like that already works. Like you can have filters there and all that kind of stuff. But it also is about the design of the metaverse itself. So let's imagine you have a metaverse where you can create male or female characters. But then maybe women in games also have hard times because of harassments and all kind of that stuff. So maybe a privacy shield, like a neutral character basically, would be interesting. Like for example, you press a button and then you are not male or female, you are something like a robot, for example. That could be a privacy shield which you can integrate to the game, that for example YouTubers or streamers can stream their game without that everyone knows that those are the famous YouTuber and run behind them. Also females or maybe colored people or can enjoy the game without being identified by their name or whatever basically. So everyone will be the same, but if they want to express themselves as they are, as the character basically, then they of course also can do that. Like this, we just giving people a new way of to embrace themselves basically. The third point I want to talk with you about is intellectual property basically. Virtual worlds can be a breeding ground for the creation and sharing of content, so it will be important to establish clear rules and protections for intellectual property rights. I guess here it will also get hard because it's always like someone have an idea, you will maybe like slightly modify the idea or make it slightly better, and it will get very, very hard here to also have regulations and stuff like that here, I guess. But that's also a very hot topic, I guess, next year then. The fourth point will be the accessibility. Virtual worlds should be accessible to users with disabilities and should consider the needs of users with different levels of technological literacy or access. Here I already saw very interesting ideas to make the controls of games like easier and stuff like that, but in my opinion, like the WASD and mouse controls are the most simple ones, and people just need to learn it. But in my experience, people also have fun learning it. The only thing we should establish here, I guess, is like an alternative to the normal controls by gamers. The thing is, in my opinion, we should keep the controls as in every game basically, since the gamers are the core audience we can attract in the first place basically. In the second place, also older people who maybe don't play a lot of games will also join the metaverse, and then we can add a second layer of controls or something like that, or in the settings you can switch from like normal controls to simple controls, and then you could have, for example, only controls with mouse that you can look around and where you click your character will walk to, something like that. That also could help people who only have one arm or something like that to easily navigate in the metaverse experience. And the next and fifth huge point I see we really need to have a focus on when we are building metaverse applications, and also think about this ethics and stuff like that, are the health and wellness basically. Virtual worlds can have both positive and negative impacts on the user's mental and physical health, so it will be very important to consider the potential risks and benefits of extended use basically. There are probably more points which will be added over time, but especially this health topic, I guess, is very important, and we need to think about it, since I guess, in my opinion, you can get easily addicted to those virtual worlds, since you can be wherever you want, you can do whatever you want with whoever you want basically, and I guess there you can also easily achieve like new things. You reach a new level, you have the next dopamine hit after each other, and it will, I guess, quickly make you addictive when you really conceptuate the metaverse, that it will make you addictive. But I guess big companies will do that, and so here it's important, I guess, to be different when you create your own metaverse. But of course you also need to have at least some layers of those game psychology aspects which will hook players, because otherwise no one will play your metaverse. So here it's also a very critical point basically in terms of ethics, and where you need to think for yourself like how far you want to go in terms of the metaverse. But what do you think about ethics in the metaverse? And if you have any thoughts or also other points, then feel free to add those in the comments. I guess this will be a list where we will maybe next year have like 10 points more or even more. It's a list which is constantly growing, and it's just like my thoughts about the ethics in general. But yeah, feel free to write me some comments, and I'm happy to discuss with you about those points in the comments. If you now also want to create your own metaverse experience for your brand, but you're not sure where you can start and how or where you need to pay attention in terms of the marketing, then also feel free to contact me for a free strategy session where I will work out a strategy for your company, and we will see together how the first steps in the metaverse can also look for your company. But that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye.